Hi, hello, and welcome back to my video tutorial series, JavaScript Crash Course for experienced developers, and this is part 4. And we are going to learn about functions in this video. So, I don't think I want to explain what is a function because you guys must be from the programming background, as this is for experienced developers, a course for experienced developers. Or otherwise, actually, if I am doing this for beginners, I used to give some examples for them and all. Like, for example, a function, I used to ask them to consider a function as a machine which gets an input and then it gives an output and all. Maybe those fancy explanations or examples is not needed here. But let's quickly check how we write functions in JavaScript. And there are two ways, right? And is it two ways to write function? Like, okay, there are two types of functions or two ways to write functions, and we call it as function declaration and function expression. So let's start with function declaration. The syntax for that is function, okay, and the function's name add two numbers, okay, and open bracket, close bracket, and open flower bracket and close flower bracket, okay. And and you can get two variables a and b as parameters. We call it as parameters, we call it as arguments also, okay. And let me do something like this. I say where sum equal to a plus b, and then I return sum. So that's it. So function, the name of the function. So we get two parameters. We also call it as arguments. Okay, we call it as parameters, arguments, and what else? Parameters, arguments. I think there is also one more name. Parameters, arguments. Okay, fine. Parameters and arguments as of now. And then we are just summing those variables a and b and storing it in a variable sum and returning it. Okay, so this is what we called as function declaration. So how do we do the same with function expression? So for that, we write a variable, like maybe instead of add, we can put it as sum two numbers equal to, okay, function a b, yeah, that's it. So you understand, like you can feel the difference, right? Like function, and we say the name of the function here, okay, but here we are actually saying that putting that name of the function in a variable, and we are writing the function like this. So just look into this and you can already see the difference, okay. And now what is the real difference between it? Like first let's try to invoke this function and see the output. Okay, okay, so it is all suggested. So where result, maybe I'll keep it as result 1. Okay, in this add two numbers, we are passing two parameters 2 and 3, and we are logging into the console, and the result 1 should now have the returned value. Okay, so it should be 2 plus 3, and it is 5. Okay, so now let's see the output. Yeah, 5. And the same thing can be also done here, where result 2 equal to sum two numbers 2 and 3, and okay, so even for this we get the same output. Okay, so what is the real difference? Okay, now I can show you a difference. So if I just copy this and put it above the function, do you guys think this will work? Generally, do you think this will work? It might not, because the variable sum two numbers is here, but I'm trying to access this variable. Maybe the variable have a function, okay, but you are trying to access this variable even before the declaration, okay, here. So this should give us an error. Let's see. Yes, uncaught type error. Sum two numbers is not a function, okay. So you aren't able to use the sum two numbers function before the declaration, okay. So now I'll just cut these lines and put it here before the function, okay. Now what do you think? Like maybe I comment this expression for now, okay. Now do you guys think that this will be accessible? Okay, with the earlier example here, this should throw error, but let's see. No, it doesn't show throw any error, but it gives the output. Okay, that is one basic difference. Okay, in function expression, you can use that function only after the function is declared. But in function declaration, you can call it even before the function is declared, which seems magical, but it is not. Maybe we also see like how the memory allocation is allocated, and how this function expression is sitting in the memory, and how this function expression is sitting in the memory and all, maybe later in some classes, and then we will understand why it works like this. Okay, but generally now you guys should understand that in function declaration, you can call the function even before declaration, but in function expression, you can call the function only after the function is declared. Okay, so this is the older syntax. Okay, this function, keyword, and these things is actually the older syntax, but now we have new syntax in ES6. The ES6 one of the new version, and it is not new anymore, it is also old version. But until ES6 we don't have this new syntax for functions called arrow functions. But after ES6, or from ES6, we have something called arrow functions. Okay, I just comment this for now. Okay, and let's see like how this general function can be converted to arrow functions. For that, you have to just remove this function keyword and put a fat arrow. We call this as fat arrow here, and that's it. So now, even now, you will be getting the same output. Okay, so this is clear. Okay, but why do we do this? Generally, they call this arrow functions as a syntactical sugar. Okay, which means it is easier to write. Okay, and we can even write this very shortly, but that is not only the purpose. It is not just syntactical sugar. We also have some difference, like something called this keyword. Okay, there is something called this keyword which behaves differently in the old function and also in the arrow functions. There's a difference, but generally we call this a syntactical sugar. How it becomes syntactical sugar is we can even shorten this. For example, consider that we don't want to actually store this in a variable, right? Because we already know we can already just return a plus b. This will also work. Okay, so a plus b. So now let's see the output, the same file. To see some difference, let's put it as 3. Okay, now yeah, 6. So guys, this is not because I changed this to arrow function. Even the traditional function with this function keyword will work. Okay, but now what is good about arrow functions is, see this function, we are just having a return statement and there's only one line. If that is the case, then we don't want this braces. Okay, and we don't want this return, and we can just put it here. Okay, now this have become very short, right? So now, even now, you will be seeing the same output. Maybe I'll change this to 4 so that we can see some difference. So I should see the output 7. Okay, so now this is very shorter, right? And in case like for example, you are only going to have one argument, okay, and you are just keeping this as 100. Now what would be the output for this? We don't want to send the second parameter anymore. So 4, so 4 comes here, so 4 plus 100 is 104. Awesome. So when this is an arrow function, you have only one argument, then you don't want even this. Okay, now even this works. Maybe I give 5 here. So 100 plus 5 is 105. So do you realize, guys, it was a big function with function keyword, this bracket, this curly bracket, this return statement, everything. But step by step, we have made it very shorter, and now it is just this, which was before function. Even if there's only one parameter, and then we might need to write it like this: return a plus 100 or DTURN. Okay, So this is the output. Like maybe I'll change this to 6 and let's see the output 106. So this function, which is a little bigger, okay, can be written very shortly like this. Awesome, right? So now you get the same output. In case if you change this to 5, you get 105. Okay, nice. Um, but we can't write this arrow function, or we can't use this arrow function when you write it as function declaration. Okay, so when you try to remove this function here, and if you try to put the fat arrow here, it will already give you a syntax error. And if you try to execute this, this is an error. Okay, so you can use this arrow function only for function expressions, not for function declarations. Okay, so I think that's it for this class. But did I miss something? So function declaration, yeah, function expression, yeah. That's it, I believe, guys. So this is how we write function in JavaScript. So catch you in the next class. Bye.